Well, my name is Lauren Santerre, and I am a recent business entrepreneur starter of a business called Sacred Spaces by Lauren. And my goal is to help people to connect to God in their spirits and their homes. And I really believe that the home is such a central place for where we connect to God. So that's my current endeavor. I am also a hospice chaplain for Silverado Hospice, and recently got into that because I finished a degree in spiritual direction. So I'm a spiritual director, and just really love to be with people in the holy moments of their lives and to help us connect to God and be intentional about that connection. My background is in nonprofit, and spent many years doing some nonprofit work and being a part of the community in that way. The best way that I know how to describe it is a spiritual director is kind of like a crossing guard. So you think about a crossing guard helping students get across the street effectively to school. A spiritual director is one who helps other people to effectively get across the street, or to navigate the potholes of the spiritual life, the places where we can get stuck. And so spiritual direction is really just this kind of wonderful relationship between two people that helps them to navigate the spiritual journey. I think I might have a master's degree in that myself. So I think, our spirits get cluttered in all kinds of ways, and I think that that concept of worry and living either in the past or the future really is our biggest enemy to having an uncluttered spirit. And so one of the things that I have just been so impressed by the saints of our tradition and of many different faith traditions is this concept of living in the present, and being truly present to what's going on in your day, in this moment. How do we make even the simplest of things holy, like washing dishes or doing laundry? Where do we find gratitude in those moments, right? Because there's so much that we have to be grateful for. And I think that's something that is a huge tool to having an uncluttered spirit. Well, that is a very challenging task, I think. And I will say that my biggest tool that I use, and I really recommend to everyone, is a dedicated quiet time in the morning. And I really believe that it starts your day off right. It gets you in the right heart position, the right mind position for what you want to do that day and how you want to go through your day. I say that being a self-confessed hater of the morning. And it took me many, many years to listen to the wisdom of spiritual teachers who said this is the best way to start your day. And I know that we've probably all heard the quote from Martin Luther that says, "I have so much to do today that I have to spend 3 hours in prayer to get it done." That is really how I feel about my life, that if I don't have that time with God in the morning, then nothing else really goes right for me. And you can ask my husband, he will testify to that, that if I miss my morning time, I'm not very pleasant to be around. So he really encourages me to do that too. So it is a hard thing, I think. We feel like we have so many things to do to carve out that space in our life, but I think it's really crucial. I think there's a couple of different ways that I've gone about it in my life. One, I like to go to the bathroom. And that sounds silly, I know, but it is usually a fairly quiet space. And so I think, you have to find those places in your life where you can just go and take a few minutes to breathe and just kind of reset, So I think you'd be amazed at what can happen with 30 seconds of breathing or 2 minutes of breathing, and just kind of remind yourself what you're trying to do, who you're trying to be during that day. I really encourage people to choose a word either for the day or for the week, and as that be their focal point. So if you are stressed out during that day, then just to kind of refocus and think, okay, what was my word for today? Did I want peace? Did I want to be a person of hope in the world? Am I trying to be calm? You know, what are those things? I have a couple, I even have a necklace that says grace. And so sometimes I wear that to remind myself to come back to God's grace over and over again through the day. You know, I think that as we've been talking about being intentional about your life and how you want to structure your life and how you want to choose to be in relationship with other people, I think there's also great power in being intentional about our space. Dedicating a space and saying this is an important part of my life. And so sacred spaces can look like a lot of different things. I have a chair in my bedroom that has my journal and my Bible and, you know, some books I'm reading next to it, and that's where I spend my time in the morning. But I think that it's just wonderful to have some kind of space in your home. It can be a closet, it can be part of your dining room table. It just depends on what, you know, what your life looks like and what your spaces look like. But I think that space is super important to us to have a place of grounding to go back to over and over again, and also to remind us that that is a practice that we're dedicating our time and our energy to in our life.